Keep going. Try it again. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kanepo at Macwash, Standing Bear, Soda Trout Fishing Lake, First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Ashanaa Bay. Welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle. And if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. It's a good day to get together. You know, it's a good day. I had an interesting conversation just before the circle. We'll get into that in a little bit. And if Noah said that they love you today, I love you very much, which really just simply means that I want you to have a really good, beautiful, beautiful life that's connected to all those beautiful things. And this is one of the things that we do to connect to those beautiful things. We come here and we sit in circle. I am in the service of the circle, and I am in the service of the Great Spirit. So this is not like a patriarchy thing. This is not a sermon. I'm not a preacher or pastor. I'm not sitting in front of you. I'm not doing this. There's nothing like that involved. So yeah. This is what we do, and you know what, we do this, and we have a really good time when we're here. We just laugh, we cry, we carry on, get silly sometimes, and that's really what life is about. And but what we do really good here is we really get down to business, right? When we really need to. This is really important what we do here. So anyway, a couple housekeeping things. If we do have a little bit of connection issues, please come back. I am not going anywhere. This past weekend it kicked me off. I got the spinning wheel of death, and then it kicked me off. So if we do have some technical issues, please just come right back. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so let's start in the usual way here. If you would like to light some sage with me, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah. And if you would like to keep that, I need a volunteer to keep this going throughout the morning meditation. So please give me a little heart, little thumbs up. You can kind of keep this going throughout, because we have the elder out in Vancouver that suggested that we keep this smoke going throughout the morning circle in remembrance for the Indigenous children that never came home from residential school. So let's honor that prayer. So please and thank you. All right, let's begin. All right, thank you. Yes, thank you. I see some hearts there. Thank you. So let's let us begin in the usual way. The elders say if it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. So let's begin in a beautiful, traditional Indigenous way. A little pinch goes a long way. And then Anisiga. Wichiagana. To all my relations, Kitsimanitou, Great Spirit Creator, Great Mystery, Chi Megwitch, thank you. Thank you for our breath. Thank you for this day. Thank you for our circle. Thank you for our life. Me, we love you. I love you. We love you. We are grateful for our last breath, and we were hopeful for our next. And we live in that place in between. We come here in circle. We mean no harm in what we do. We mean no harm. We come here. The first reason why we were here, why we are here, is a celebration of life. That's the only reason why. There can be many more after, but the first reason always has to be the celebration of life. Without life, we understand we have nothing. So we come here today in celebration of life. Not just our life, not just the life of this circle, but all nations, tribes, and circles, especially those nations, tribes, and circles that do not look like the two-legged, like the standing nations, the ones that offer the world breath. We say thank you. To the fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water. We say thank you. To the wing nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air. We say thank you. To the creepy crawlies, the sluthers, the insect nations, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth. We say thank you. To the four-legged communities, nations, circles, and tribes, the ones who offer humanity so much, who give humanity so much, that remind humanity about our humanity. We say thank you. And of course, to all other human nations, circles, and tribes, for we understand that you are our teachers as well, and this makes us happy. So we come here, we celebrate all life in all directions, all those things that have spirit. We say thank you. All those things that give life to us. We say thank you to the air, to the fire, to the water, to the earth, Mother Earth. We say thank you with great gratitude and deep gratitude for life. We come here. We celebrate life, both seen and unseen, because we know we live in both worlds at the same time, physical and spiritual. We want to thank those that have come before us, our ancestors. If there are relatives here, they are ancestors over there. So all life is our ancestors. So we give great gratitude and thank you for the prayers that they held, for the way they walked in life. And now they offer those prayers and that walk to us. So we can walk in a good way, in a humble way, in alignment with Mother Earth and all her beauty. And we also understand and acknowledge that some of our two-legged ancestors were abused, hurt, traumatized, and they passed that along to us. It's okay not to be okay, but it's also okay to heal too. And it's also okay to acknowledge that they passed down great courage and love, and most importantly, life to us. So let's come here today and we not only heal for ourselves, that would be selfish, but we heal for the next 7 generations. The next seven generations, where we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So every prayer we make must include the 7 generations, or it is incomplete. come here, we heal. Seen and unseen, we heal in all directions. It's like that beautiful ripple that goes out. That's what the old ones say. So let's come here. A great time, the privilege and opportunity is to be at this time and place, the intersection between two unseen worlds. Great beauty is found here. Let us honor that great beauty. And the great spirit Kitchi Manitou was smart. The ancestors were smart. They gave us things to use and teachings to walk with as a foundation to live a good life in harmony and balance with all life. Humility, love, truth, strength, respect, honesty, and wisdom, and so many more after that. But these first 7, let us sit with these. Let us make good relations. Let us be good relatives to humility and love and all the others. Everything begins with spirit. Let our life begin with spirit and the unseen. So welcome the unseen humility into our life and let us live that throughout the day. We walk this thing called the Red Road. It is the road that connects to all others. It is the road of wellness, the road of love and respect, wisdom and courage, honesty and truth, humility. Let's walk with this today. Let us do a little better than we did yesterday. Let us be better humans. Remember our place in the circle. Let's forget that we are the only circle. Come here today and honor this time and this place and this privilege. Let's remember this moment. Let's remember each other's hearts. Let us remember the original prayer, harmony and balance, the first at the center of the universe, came down. The unseen lightning bolt, the unseen thunder beams straight to the womb of our mothers. And then we heard the first song of life, boom, 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 boom. Let us carry that heartbeat, that drumbeat with us today. Let us remember that all other life has the same drumbeat and the heartbeat. Let us remember that we are one. Oh, all right. All right, good one today. All right, good start today, everyone. So once again, my name is Kenny Poet Macwash, Standing Bear, Saulteaux, Tribe Fishing Link, First Nations, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 territory, published author and 60s Scoop survivor. Actually, that was a suggestion from, there was a 60s Scooper, there's a group that I belong to, 60 Scoop survivors, and they came on, and he said, well, why don't you say to add that into your thing? And I'm like, I think that's a good idea. So, all right. So I did. So anyway, a couple things before we get started. Couple of preamble, foundational things. I don't really like that word, but it kind of works here. So we'll just use that word. Hollow bones. The 4 things that we go over first. Hollow. But what is your definition of hollow bones? That's really why we're here. That prayer is a hollow bones prayer. It is both seen and unseen. We know there's a life force out there. We want to not only connect to that life force, but when we connect to it, it offers us life. What we're supposed to do after that is we're supposed to offer life. We're supposed to offer prayer. That's what we're supposed to do. So we come from a world of takers. That colonial world is so busy taking that's all they become, right? And that brings a sense of delusionary entitlement, right? So that's a sickness, right? So how we get well, how we unsick ourselves, is we offer life. That is harmony and balance, so that beautiful flow through us. And I would love to hear your definition of hollow bones as well. Okay, let's move to ancestors and elders. This is very traditional. We want to thank and honor our elders, the ones who helped us here, the ones who helped guide us here. So thank you to Grandfather Tony Stonehawk. If you want to put the name of your elder out there, just say thank you, just as like it's an offering, a gratitude. It begins as an offering, and we walk with that gratitude, right? So thank you to Grandfather Tony. I've been with him 28 years now, so really, really long time. I was just a young kid when I got here, so, and our ancestors too. So the two-legged ancestors are the ones who really walked this red road when it was really dangerous to do so. The colonial governments did not want us to talk about, to go to ceremony, to sing. Everything that we talk about today here was outlawed. Back in the 70s, 78, that in the lower 48, and 1951 here up in the provinces. So let's thank, and that's a big deal. There was a comment the other day saying, I thought about that, and that's a really big deal. And I'm like, yes, it is. But yeah, that's a big deal, right? Right. Like if they didn't do what they did, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. To put it in perspective, that would be the colonial governments outlawing Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Outlawing Catholicism. Personal thoughts about that. I'll keep those to myself. I was told by keep that to myself. But okay, so thank you. Circle medicine. Okay, here we are. Circle medicine. Here we are. A braid of sweetgrass, the hair of Mother Earth, the sacred feminine. Here. This is what. There we go. This is us right here. This is Daniela, Holly, Tracker, Kimberly, Heather, everybody here, both seen and unseen. This is everybody. This is everything and everyone right here. So it's really important that there was an elder that showed me this a long time ago, and this is just one. It's just a beautiful thing. Because I'm a really visual kind of guy, and I'm like, I like that. It really works for me. So. Circle medicine. No one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us. This is not a patriarch, triangle where I'm up here and you're all down here. It's this. We are all equal in this circle, and it's really important that we understand that. Just because we have some people here that were walking the red road for 30, 40, 50 years, it doesn't mean that they're any better than those have been walking the red road for 15 minutes. Like if you're struggling, that doesn't mean you're not walking the red road. That was a comment. Like if you drank yesterday, it doesn't mean that you're not walking the red road. The red road is the road of wellness. We don't, the red don't own the red road. It is a road for all. It is the road of equality. And just think about that. It is the road of equality. Just think about that for a second. That's good, man. When Grandfather Tony said that, I said, I was a little bit militant back in there. I was a little bit racist and a little bit militant when I got here, right? Because the white colonial did so much to me. I was really angry, right? So I said, no, the red road's just for the. I said, no, it doesn't. Then it doesn't make us any better than them. If only the red are here now. And then he said that, and then he said, well, there's some ceremonies that only the red need to sit at. That means, like if you're tribal, sit with your tribe. Sit with the elders, sit with the grandmother, sit with the that's okay. But the red road and the broader, it's here. The teachings are here for everyone. That's like saying humility is like only indigenous, and it's not. It's for everybody. So we follow the spirit. We don't create these laws. We don't create these definitions. We follow the sacred laws. We follow the sacred laws. Humility is not just for the red. Humility is for humanity. We cannot negotiate. We cannot define it. We only have to walk with it. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So, okay. So what was I talking about? Oh, sacred feminine. So we understand that world out there, the colonial world. That's a system, by the way. That was another comment that I'm going to address. So that's a system. That's not like an anti. This is not an anti-man thing, right? That's a system. It's a systematic thing. The colonial system, the patriarch. That's a system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we can't blame the individual, right? Right. We don't blame shame guilt anyway, right? That's so now that we have that conversation of re-indigenizing, that we just walk away, we drop those conversations, and now we include everybody as equals. That's the important thing. We include everybody as equal, the sacred feminine, the life givers. It boggles my mind that the colonial world would marginalize the very things that gave us life, but they do, and everybody's okay with that, right? Well, I'm not okay with that over here, right? Right. Right. We are equal here, and the teaching behind the teaching, what that is, we all have beautiful medicine. We are all unique. We are all beautiful. We are all powerful. We are all sacred. I want you to, write that one down. We are all beautiful, all powerful. We are enough, right? Right. And we are all sacred here, right? That's what we have to remember, and that's what we have to walk with. And the great thing about this is that there's help here, there's humility here, that we sit with this, that we understand this a little bit more, right? Just a little bit more. We do a little better today than we did yesterday. That's what we mean by that, right? We do a little better today than we did yesterday, right? Like if we slip tomorrow, that just doesn't matter, because we get up and we do it again. There's no blame, shame, guilt on the red road. That's a colonial narrative, right? That's a colonial narrative, right? We leave that story. We leave that story with them. Let them argue about definitions and all this. Okay. All right. So, question of the day. All right. So so some of you may have noticed that I got this new flute. New flute is from Dan Coleman out of Oklahoma, right? Dan Coleman sent me this flute, right? So, and then I've been posting a lot more, and so the question was, well, tell me the story about the flute and how you got involved with the flute. So this is kind of how it is. It's really kind of a cool story. So, there was a circle, the Red Door Sanctuary Circle that I was part of, that I founded back in North Miami, and there were a couple flute players there, right? And I just kind of looked at them, and it was really beautiful. I noticed it every time that they played it. Wow, that's really beautiful. And we look up and say, wow, And then one day, a year or two later, they gifted me one. And I kind of looked at it. It's kind of like new medicine. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just like, I'm shy. I don't want to do this. So then, this is kind of how it started. Kind of like that. But then there was a note that sounded like this. Like a couple really cool notes, right? And so I went to Grandfather Tony, because I go to Grandfather Tony whenever I don't know what to do, right? So I said, Tony, I got this thing. What should I do with it? Well, like he told me, well, go out and pray with it. I'm like, never thought about that. Yeah, right. So I went out, and so there's the sacred area. Went out to every morning, loved it. Got out there before the sunrise, and was sitting there. The first I would sit there. First, I would just hold this and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for this. I don't know what you want me to do with this, but I'll just, I'll just do it. And then I would think about, different stories that Grandfather would talk about. And he talked about the three, I was thinking about the three little warriors, the brave and mighty warriors, like the ones that shot the arrows, right? To the birds, killing the little birds. Give me a little thumbs up if you remember that one. And then I said, wow. So that taught me about the birds in the morning. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then I thought, wow, they're playing me a song. Wow, that's really, So it's kind of that's how. And then I'm thinking, like, maybe I should play a song for them back. And that's all it took. That's all. I'm not traditionally trained. I couldn't tell you a note or a key if my life depended on it. Well, maybe a little bit now, but not back then. So as my morning offerings, as my morning offerings, say thank you, and then I would give a little tobacco to the pipe to be like. The next week it sounded like a little better, right? But then I would try to mimic what I heard with the flute. So really, it's the birds who taught me how to, because I would mimic the sounds, right? And I would just hear it over and over again. There's a lot of birds in Florida, South Florida, so there'd just be a... And so that's the long of the short of it is just that, wow, just like, so really the birds really taught me how to play. It was really just a beautiful experience. And now I just kind of close my eyes and I picture, I'm really visual, so I picture like a butterfly flying and or a bird going into the wind or with the wind, and that has a certain tone, and then I think about other things, and then I just kind of put them all together, and they really sound like that. So anyway, great question. Yeah, so I've told that before. Okay, so let's. We are at the moment. Whispers from the Hollow Bone, March 3rd. If we could get a volunteer to put that in the feed. And this is right along with what we've been talking about. It's kind of be like this week's theme, right? There's some themes, and now this is a beautiful, beautiful theme. And for those of you who have the book Whispers from the Hollow Bone, you get it. So if we could again put a volunteer to put that in the feed. And what we do here, if you're new here, we will read this a couple times. It's just a short little passage here. And these are all medicine wheel teachings. So these are all hollow bone teachings too. That was another comment the other day. So I really like that comment. That's a cool comment. So these are hollow bone teachings, right? So I think I'm going to use that. So I think Carol, there's a Carol that I said that. So thank you for that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to read it a couple of times, develop a general impression. It's really important that we do that because we are all over the map as far as understanding in this. And so the gentle teaching, the gentle course correction would be that since we're all over here, that we learn together like that. And we become a stronger circle, and we become a stronger circle together. And that's really, just imagine if the world did that. That'd be really cool. So anyway, Whispers from the Hollow Bone, March 3rd. Humility is humanity's most forgotten ceremony. Humility is humanity's most forgotten ceremony. What is your general impression? What is your general impression here? Please put that in the feed, in the comment section. What's beautiful is that's a seed. That's a seed. And so we will allow that seed to grow. And the beautiful thing is we just do it together. We have a really good time here. So, okay, humility. Humility. One of the 7 sacred teachings: love, truth, honesty, respect, strength, wisdom. Right? Humility. What does that mean to you? Is humility just a human thing? No. Humility, the seven sacred laws. Humility is non-negotiable. We can't decide to pick up, hey, and that's the real sickness here, right? When we decide to pick up humility, right? Right? What is now? Just sit with that. This is not to be confused with humiliation, right? They are completely different. Knowing, like my experience is, like if I'm not practicing humility, then humiliation is on the other really close behind, right? Right. So I'd rather not, coming from a guy, I'm in long-term recovery now, but I wasn't always in long-term recovery, right? So, humility, right? Let's talk about this. Like if we're wounded, we're acting out, we're doing self-soothing type things like drinking or drugging, stuff like that, I didn't want to admit that I really had a problem, right? I wasn't humble, right? I didn't really want to tell anybody how often I did what I did, right? Because I'm not, But at the end, there was law enforcement involved. There was incarceration, so it's kind of like that, right? That's the humiliation, not to be confused with humility, right? Anger, right? When we walk with gentleness, that is humility. Write that one down. Gentleness, right? Not taking things personally is humility. Praying for our enemies is humility. It's not just saying I'm sorry. It's really making amends. It's that transformational. It is transformational. Humility, transformational. Right? Humility is a prayer. Humility is an actual spirit. Everything begins with spirit. You see how it's all coming together? How it's just all coming full circle together? Right? Yeah. So much come from heavy trauma, right? Okay? Just the acknowledgement of that and not glossing it over. I did that. Well, it happened to me, but whatever. Just like, okay, no, that's not a place of humility. It is engaging in addressing those things that make us uncomfortable. Humility is stepping outside our comfort zone, right? 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 Humility is stepping outside our comfort zone. Humility is sitting with the elders. How about that one? Humility is listening. How about that one? Humility is listening to the elders. Humility is following through, sitting with the elders, listening to those, and following through what the elders suggest. How about that? How about that for humility? Humility is the 30-day opportunity, the 30-day /challenge. Humility is gratitude. I think I said that already, but I'm saying it again. How about that? Humility is gratitude. How many out there are grateful for life right now? Mm-hmm. Give me a thumbs up. After everything that we've survived, that we've been through, that we've overcome. Yes, everybody should be hitting that thing. Yeah. Thank you for life. I get another shot of this, man. That's cool. That's awesome. It doesn't have to be the way it's always been. That's humility, right? Humility to change. Okay, you know what? I'm going to start praying for my enemy. I'm going to start praying for my abusers. How about that, man? It's not really for them. It's for my freedom, right? Mm-hmm. So that I can live a really good, beautiful, powerful life connected to all those things, right? Humility is understanding that the major blocks to happiness are through me. Humility is having a good attitude. Humility is the ability of saying, okay, I'm not okay. That's humility, right? I am just not okay today, right? Right. Yeah. Let me tell you a little story. Can I tell you a little story? Story time. So So down in Miami, had this circle called the Red Door Sanctuary. It was a community, right? A sweat lodge community. We had other things in there, but mainly the thing was Sweat Lodge Foundation. And then it occurred to me that the healers need a place to heal, right? Right? There's a lot of healers down there, right? And so I just put the word out one day and said, hey, look, we're gonna have a healing just for healers. Like if you run a circle, if you're in a sweat lodge circle, if you're in like sound bowl and sound bath, whatever it is, just come. It's come. That's it, right? So it sounds really spiritual, right? So we had probably about 20 people show up, right? Yeah. Healing is not a competition. Yeah. I'm not in competition with you. I'm not in competition with anybody, right? That's humility, right? Kind of three or four out of those 20 were sitting there and just said, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come here. The rest, they were trying to out-heal each other, right? Right? Mm. And it's not a South Florida thing. It's a human thing. That's what I'm saying. Those healers needed a place to heal. But they were all addressing each other and what you needed to heal rather than what they needed to heal, right? And so I'm looking over at them just like, well, it's not going exactly the way I thought it was going to go, right? They were all kind of like diagnose each other. Oh, yeah, you need to do that, which is like okay, but they missed the point of being there, right? Healing is this beautiful place of listening. Listening is the first form of communication, but it's also the first language of humility. Write that one down. Listening is the first language of humility. I need you to write that one down. Listening. Just sit. Don't listen for anything. Don't listen to anything. Just listen. Right. Listening is the first form of communication. We can't do anything. It is, the first word. It is in the first word in the book of humility. If we don't listen, then how can we ever hear ourselves? Write that one down. It's important stuff. This is beautiful stuff. Right. And then we bring in emotions, right? How many of us listen to our emotions, right? A lot of us are guided by our emotion, but nobody listens to the emotion. Write that one down. And then there's that there's that connection. That beautiful thing that instead of being guided, we listen to. We know we're not guided by, but we listen to. Write that one down. That's right. Just sit with that. Just how does that feel? It's like, I can remember when Grandfather Tony taught me this. He speaks stories. He speaks a lot of stories, and that was one of the things that he talked about after the story. And I'm just like, and I couldn't wrap my head around it, right? And my story is that I wanted to be so spiritual, I didn't ask any questions, right? It's okay after you listen to ask questions. That's part of humility too, right? It's okay. That's why we have the question up. That's why we have it. That's the only reason why we have it. And because, after you think, after you pray, after you sit with, after you offer, there's still some questions there. Well, I can't help you. Spirit can't help you if you don't ask those questions. That's why we have those questions, right? Like there's a lot of questions out there that you have that you weren't asking because I just know that, right? it would be better if you asked the questions here, but 90% of the questions come in the personal messages, right? Which is okay, right? There's a lot of people that have the same questions, so go ahead and just answer, that this is why we're here. Questioning is a place of humility, right? After listening, there's some issues. Hey, look, what do we do, right? Sometimes, that's okay, right? That's okay. So I think we got the first one covered, right? We're good? We got the first one. There's like seven, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other words here. So, okay, so 1 down, 5 to go. Okay. So, I love you guys. I just love you guys. Okay, is humanities. Okay, so basically they're calling us out here, right? Spirit, and this is like a gentle thing too. They're not saying this, and they're not calling us names, and this, not doing that. And this is not a blame, shame, guilt thing here. Like, Spirit doesn't do that, right? If you feel it, then it's probably not from Spirit, right? It's some sort of control, fear, manipulation type thing, and it's probably from the colonial world, right? Right? Spirit doesn't work in manipulation. Spirit works with humility. Write that one down. Right? Spirit always works with humility, right? First, listening first, right? Do these things first, right? And then if we don't decide to listen, don't decide to walk with humility, then other things, there's consequences there, right? Right. But there's also consequences to humility. Write that one down. What are some consequences to humility? That means I'm leaving. Okay, happiness, peace, serenity, calm. What do we get when we do, like if we're not practicing sitting with, listening to humility? Calamity, chaos, crisis. That's all. I think that's all that needs to be said there. And you know what? Guess what this world is in? Calamity, crisis, chaos. Right? Right? Humanity has some work in front of us, right? We have some work in front of us. What we do spiritually, now that we see the bigger thing, we do what's right in front of us, the next right thing, right? How do we change the world? Do the next right thing. It's not that difficult. Do the next right thing. Like if you're having problems drinking, do the next right thing. If you're in a 12-step program, do the next right thing. Get a sponsor. Sit with those people.
That's right. It'll catch itself up.
Yeah. Get with those sponsors. Do the next right thing. Maybe the next right thing is to just come right back. Come right back. Maybe the next right thing is to go back to ceremony. Right? Right. Maybe come back here. Maybe talk to your elder, right? Like if you're in the indigenous world, maybe you slipped, right? That's okay. Go back to the elder. Tell the elder, right? Right. We do what's right for us spiritually. Everything begins with spirit, so that's what we do, right? That's what we do. We go back to the spirit. We go back to humility. Spirit. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin, right? We often begin with other things, right? So if my life is in chaos, like if I'm drinking and drunk, then it's a good idea for me to go out and build a relationship with somebody else. Right? Happens all the time, right? Happens all the time. So I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to do this, right? And then what happens is like we bring that chaos from here into our relationships, right? And then we wonder why, we married Satan, right? Right? Why that relationship doesn't work out, right? Right? Oh, this guy's in crisis. This woman's in crisis. Let's build a relationship there, right? Right? Right. Everything begins with the Spirit. Everything begins with this place called gentleness. Right? Everything begins with this thing called gentleness. Everything begins with listening. Everything, we can look at it and we can run at it from all these beautiful ways and these beautiful, when's the last time we sat and we listened to gentleness, right? What's underneath gentleness? What is underneath? What's the teaching behind gentleness? What's beyond and beyond gentleness? Strength, courage, bravery. Yes, absolutely, right. And guess what that is? That's one of the first seven, the seven sacred teachings, right? And this is not self-serving, but in Anishinaabe, it's the bear. I can't make that up. It's like, it's not self-serving. It just happens to be that way. But so strength. It takes strength to, and I'm going somewhere with this. It takes strength, gentleness, to walk with humility. It takes courage. It takes bravery to own the stuff that we have to work on, right? If it begins with spirit, it begins with ourselves and the way we do what? We connect to spirit. Everything begins with spirit, so we connect to spirit first. We want to put everything first. That colonial world puts like money first. We connect to material things first, to all those really peripheral things that don't really matter to the spirit. Right? The spirit's not going to come up to you and say, okay, well, what kind of car you drive? How much is your health worth? How much is your net worth? How's your portfolio looking? That's a colonialism, right? If it doesn't begin with spirit, So, when I do seminars, when I do workshops, I follow what Grandfather Tony taught me. Everything begins with spirit. Everything begins with humility, right? So now we covered that. We covered humanity. Okay, humanity. So we've broken down humanity back into us, right? So like we're not that bleeding deacon that said, oh, the world's in crisis. What do we do about it? No, we don't do that. That's a waste of time. We just need a general understanding what's out there, and what's out there is really wrong and backwards, right? The world is dyslexic, world's like that. That's all we need to know. The next thing we need to know, the next thing we need to do is what? Work on ourselves. Spirit works with spirit through us, right? If we want to build a better community, what do? Forgotten ceremony. Okay, we remember to go back to ceremony. The forgotten ceremony of humility. It looks a lot like the ceremony of love, honesty, truth, respect, wisdom, and strength. In fact, you can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. You can't, so we can't have, this is really important. I need you to understand it. Right? When we sit with humility, we're also sitting with love, truth, honesty, respect, strength, and wisdom. When we sit with love, we're sitting with humility, truth, honesty, respect, strength, and wisdom. When we're sitting with honesty, we're sitting with humility, love, truth, we can never have, they can never be divided. It's like trying to divide the breath, one breath from another. You can't do it. It's not like one place is over here and the next place is over here. The spirit looks like this, right? That's trying to take one strand. And that's the beauty, the majesty, the power. When we start with spirit, we get so much more. I need you to write that down. I need you to write that down. When we sit with spirit, we get so much more. This is becoming empowering. Just because a place of great gentleness, right? Grandfather Tony, when he walks in the room, like his level of gentleness is here, and then it just comes down. Everything's going to be all right. When we sit with the elders, we know everything's going to be all right, because that's the medicine that they sit with, that they're close to, that they love, honor, respect. Forgotten, there's a lot of forgotten ceremonies out there, right? And let's take a run at this, right? Let's understand the larger ceremony inside this ceremony. And this is not about what's more important, but the ceremony is not just, we say it all the time here, this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. The ceremony of life, from the first breath to the last breath, right? And that's just one ceremony. It's a long ceremony, but it's the ceremony of life. That's why we celebrate life, right? I don't know how many times you hear that in the colonial world. Life is a celebration. It should be absolutely, right? Right. One of the craziest things that I've heard from the colonial world is a celebration of life. But you only get that after you die. Why don't we celebrate life right here, right now? Heather, let's celebrate life. Christina, Kimberly, Nina, let's celebrate life right here. Give me a thumbs up if you want to celebrate life today. And how do we celebrate life? We listen to it. We listen with humility to humility. What is that for us? That's a celebration of life. That's a connection to life. Celebrate life is a connection to life. I don't know if you know that. It's not just like, we don't talk victimese. We can't talk victimese and celebrate life at the same time. Can't do that. I did that for a long time. Oh, I'm a survivor. Oh, I'm so bad. My life is, I'm struggling. Well, Grandfather Tony just kind of looked at me and said, okay, well, let's sit with humility again, because, humility is that beautiful cosmic shift, that transformation that is all around us all the time. That cosmic shift, when we connect to life, that's the cosmic shift right there. That's all it is. It's not up in the stars. It's not this. You don't get a deck of cards. It's none of that. The cosmic shift is found right here first, right? Right. When we listen with all five senses, when we're all in, and the ceremony is, we have to be all in here, right? We have to be all in. Right. Let's just try for this moment right now. Every single one of us out here, let's just try right now for one moment. Let's be all in right here. I love you. You're not going to die. You're not going to go. Let's just be all in. I love life. That is being all in. I love what I see. I love what I hear. I love what I feel. I love what I taste. I love this moment. I love looking at all my relatives, from Levine to Jean to Sybil to Bernie to Wild Bear. I love Wild Bear. Wild Bear Velvet. Wow, that's a great name. Actually, because I'm a bear too, but it's just kind of like,
Quit feeding your ego.
There's a wild bear in here. I'm acknowledging the wild bear. That's pretty cool. I'm not the only bear in here. Good. So, And let's be all in here. And being all in, we can laugh, we can cry, we can not be okay. We can we can just smile. We just know that that's all being all in. It doesn't have to look like we don't have to label everything. We just be like, okay, I'm here, I'm present. That's what that means. That's really what the ceremony is. That's really what that's what listening is bringing us into the present. That's what humility is. Write this all down. This is all good stuff, right? Humility. We don't get humility yesterday. We don't get it tomorrow. We may think about humiliation, but we don't really think about humility, right? So, humility brings us back into the moment. Write that one down. Right. And in this moment, are we listening? If we're not listening, we're not all in. I don't know where the time goes, man. I thought I was gonna. We started a minute late, right? A couple minutes late.
No, we didn't. I don't think.
I tried. Humility is humanity's most forgotten ceremony. What does this mean to you now? How has this changed from the first time you read it? Let's take a look here. Okay, well, it meant like this. Now it's like this broader, bigger scope, right? Now our vision has gotten wider and deeper and broad and roomy, right? Humility is we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to appear perfect. We don't have to look perfect. We don't have to, right? We don't have to dress up our outside, our inside to match everybody's outside. That's humility, right? I tried to do that for the longest time, right? My inside with everybody's outside. I failed every time, right? People look well put together. They got the suit, they got the tie, they got all this here and all here and all. They're all sitting back there and I'm trying to look like that and I feel like that. I'm trying to feel the way they look and I failed every time. Right? I failed every time. It wasn't a place of humility. It was a place of judgment. I was judging myself and I was judging myself to death. Right. Not quite the hollow bones I need to be, right? We're connected, but I don't judge my hollow bones through you. I connect it through my connection with spirit, through life, through the fire, the water, through all these beautiful things. I connect my life to the life of a ceremony. It's just me and right down and it's me and the great spirit, the creator, right? I didn't it's not how much money I have or what I had or what I make, any of that. It's really the ceremony is connecting to this thing called life. About being hollow bones. You see how it's all full circle now? Look at that. It's all full circle, right? All right. Ooh. Okay, so. All right, so let's do some announcements here. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, volunteers needed. MMIW project. Got a great project going on. Got two projects. It's really one big project, but we broke it down into T-shirt projects and a nonprofit. We have committees are set up. We're waiting for one decision now. That's all we're waiting for. Like we have some funds there that can some seed money. If you would like to volunteer, we do have. If you can't volunteer, but you would still like to support, we do have a PayPal up, which goes directly to a business nonprofit account, and we will draw out of that account. I'm putting together a financial report for that. So Okay, women's group. Here we go. Women's group, International Women's Healing Facebook Circle. Ladies, please, when women support each other, incredible things happen. This is a Zoom thing. I think I put the thing on the my wall this morning. I would try to put that on the feed after. So women, just go check that out. A beautiful Métis woman, Denise Miller. She is a circle keeper for that. She has a grandmother's council. Blah blah blah. So. Workshop announcement, Journey Through the Seasons with Denise Miller and myself, Harmony and Balance here. This is a recovery-based workshop. It's strengthening our recovery, our intentions, our relationship. We are all related. We are all in recovery. This is a Zoom thing. Please private message me for details. We have a couple of 60 scoopers out there. We missed a couple of you showed up at the Healing Circle Monday nights. 60 Scoop Survivors. 60 Scoop Survivors. And actually, there was a question that I'm going to ask them, that was to me. Can the relatives be involved in that too? And I will ask that question too, because they're in recovery too, right? They're like, so that's a great question. So, anyway. Kept you a little short. The final word is, this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we listened to here, to loved here, learned here, lived here, and lived here. And let's take it out to the four winds. Does us no good to be all spiritual here if we don't take it out there. If we don't take it out to the four winds. Okay, everyone, my name is Kaneepa Whitmack, Standing Bear. And if no one said that, they love you today. I love you very much. Let's have a great day, everyone.